I mean, as you know, we've actually been in the region for almost 2 decades. We really established our presence here in 2008. We have a very significant amount of resource and people on the ground, as we do in the region. And we've always had a very important franchise here, particularly on the private wealth side. Really today I'm here because we're opening our new office. We're opening our new office because we have really significant ambitions for this part of the world, in particular, for Saudi. And we see those opportunities both on the asset management and private wealth side, as well as on the global banking and market side, which are the 2 key divisions of the firm. And in particular, we are very, very focused on our private wealth opportunity here. We think that, Saudi is a unique place to spend time. It's got a very concentrated set of ultra-high net worth clients, family offices, where we really think we can bring our services to bear to help them both locally, but also as they look at opportunities internationally.
So I would love to hear your thoughts and perspective about some of the biggest trends we've seen in the region, quite here in Saudi Arabia. And we have seen quite a few years of high activity in the IPO market here. So what do you expect for 2026 in the IPO activity for Saudi Arabia, especially in terms of Saudi Vision 2030? To what extent do you believe that the IPO activity is going to be focused on certain sectors? What do you see for the IPO market in Saudi?
Yeah, look, it's a great question. Actually, the IPO market in this part of the world has been one of the more active IPO markets. As you know, we actually led the largest IPO when the IPO market reopened in 2019. And actually, in the course of this year, we were very excited to lead the largest IPO in June, which was the $1 billion IPO for Flynas. We're a member of the Tadawul. We have one of the few banks with a local equity trading team, which we think gives us, a real platform. And when we couple that local platform with what we believe to be one of the best ECM franchises in the world, we think we're uniquely placed to help drive opportunities here in the region. You asked about the market. When we look at our pipeline, which is really our leading indicator for what we think is coming, we see the scope for significant IPOs through the course of 26 and beyond, which is really consistent with what we see as the ambition in the kingdom to continue to grow its capital market here, coupled with a level of entrepreneurialism and business growth that is very clear to us.
Are you focusing on certain sectors? Do you think that the market needs certain sectors, to allow a sort of diversification?
Yeah, I mean, look, really consistent with what we're seeing globally, the market is being very heavily dictated in the short term, by technology and by AI-driven stories. But actually, as we start to see that the markets broaden out over the course of the next few months, we think we're going to see a much more diverse set of issuers coming to market. And that's no different here when we look at our pipeline. We see opportunities not just in technology, but in logistics and transport, in infrastructure in particular, but also interestingly across consumer and retail. So the answer to your question really is we think there's going to be a pretty diverse set of opportunities. And look, first and foremost, we're here to serve our clients in whatever industry and sector they are operating in. And we see, as I said, we see a lot of opportunity there.
That's great. So there is a plan by Tadawul to increase the foreign investors cap in Saudi stocks, and that plan is for 2026. To what extent do you believe that this is an important step to allow more international investors to be exposed to Saudi stock market?
Yeah, look, it's hugely important. As you know, what really drives great IPOs and active capital markets is significant liquidity. What drives significant liquidity is having as much demand as possible to meet the supply that may come to market in the IPO opportunity set that we've talked about. And so driving a local equity capital market that has both significant local demand, retail and institutional, but also really active burgeoning international demand is hugely important to that. And really, if the kingdom wants to have an active IPO market as it has had, and one that is one of the leading capital markets in the world, it's really critical to have that demand. And we share your views. We think that that demand is going to come when we talk to international investors. They see really the opportunity here driven by, as you said, Vision 2030 and the broader ambitions for this market.